Hey Dave, how are you doing today?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you for helping me out. We've scheduled the session to run up to 40 minutes. And before we start, I'll explain the setup and how the session works. Here's what we're doing today. I am responsible for conducting usability testing for a car rental mobile app, which means the mobile version of the website. And I'm trying to identify issues that could be fixed and make the app easier to use. And to do that, I'm talking to people like you. And based on your feedback, I'm hoping to pinpoint areas for improvement. This session is being recorded for the purpose of note taking and for my personal portfolio. Okay, so there are a few things to keep in mind. First of all, this is just a prototype and not all the functionality is working. This is called usability testing, but even though it's called usability testing, we're not testing you, we're testing the prototype. And the more issues we find, the better. It means that I can improve it and make it better. Try to be honest with me. I'm not going to get offended. Actually, I'm really open for feedback and I want to do a really good job with this. Also, when you go through the prototype, try to think out loud and to verbalize whatever comes to your mind. And lastly, if you can go a little bit slower than you usually would. Do you
Okay.
have any questions?
No, you have been pretty thorough in describing what I'm supposed to do, so I think I'm ready.
Okay, so in the first part of the session, I'm going to ask you some questions regarding your experience of renting cars online. And then I'll ask you to perform some tasks on the prototype itself. Now I'll start with the first part of our usability testing, and I'll ask you some questions about your background experience. So Dave, what is your occupation? What do you do for a living?
I am currently what's called a DevOps engineer at Ford Motor Company. We're responsible for making sure the automation infrastructure for things like cloud computing of code and other sorts of development for the software that goes in the vehicle can be done in an automated fashion. That's currently what I'm doing. I've been at Ford for a number of years, but I've had a few experiences at other companies prior to that and even Ford before that. So that's kind of my work experience.
Great, and where do you live?
I live in Plymouth, Michigan. I'm on the very western border of Plymouth, right up against the Livonia border
Mm-hmm.
in Michigan.
How do you access the internet? Do you access it mostly on your laptop, on your desktop, on your mobile phone?
I am typically someone who uses the computer over the phone. I have a few apps on my phone, but I'm not like some of these people that go app crazy and load every app that something asks them to install on their phone. I don't do that. I keep it very limited.
Okay. So this is the next question I'm going to ask you. What apps do you have installed on your phone?
What apps do I have?
Mm.
Some very basic ones. WhatsApp. I'm in a number of groups.
Mm-hmm.
People want to contact you via that scheme rather than the regular SMS message,
Mm-hmm.
which really isn't an app. It comes installed.
Mm-hmm.
I have, I think, an Xfinity app for email that I don't use that often. I prefer to get most of my email just logging into the computer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, do you want me to look? I can barely remember a
I
lot
just
of
want
the.
to have a general idea. If you have enough apps on your mobile phone, because we're going to test a mobile app.
I have, I do use like the YouTube app for some things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm trying to think here. Is it worth for me to look
No,
real quick?
you're fine. You told me you have an app to check your email. You have WhatsApp. You have YouTube. Seems like these are the main apps that you are checking. Even if you have more apps and you can remember them, it means that you're not using them as often.
Okay.
That's my conclusion.
I do check Google News. I don't know. That's probably the one I use most.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes when you say apps that are installed, it's not app. These apps came pre-installed. Those are the ones I use the most frequently. And
Mm-hmm.
Google News is probably one I check the most often when I want to see bad news.
Yeah.
What terrible things are happening in the world.
Why did you typically rented the car in the past? Was it mostly for business or for pleasure?
I have rented cars for a number of reasons. My car now is relatively new, but there are a few long distance trips. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
want to take a car that was questionable on a long trip. I wanted something newer because I didn't want
Mm-hmm.
to have to risk any sort of breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
Or there have been occasions where I needed to rent a car in one location and drop it off in another because I had other travel plans
Mm-hmm.
or means to return home.
Mm-hmm.
And on vacation, like if you travel off of the continental US, then you can't take your car with you, and you would rent a car in those circumstances in Europe or in I
Mm-hmm.
went to Hawaii, I think, once.
And what was the last time you rented a car, let's say for vacation in the US?
When's the last time I rented a car? For vacation, not very recently, but
For
for
business?
work, yeah, for
Mm-hmm.
work, it might have been 2 years ago.
2 years
Let's
ago?
say
Okay.
2 or 3 years ago.
How did you select the rent car company? Did you make a research online of different providers? What did you do?
First, I checked to see if I had any discounts based on either my employer or other associations I have. I don't think Costco rents cars. Maybe they do, but I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't a Costco member then. Uh, I have an insurance company. They sometimes offer discounts.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the first thing. And then I guess the next criteria would be cost, because
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't looking to get anything super fancy,
Mm-hmm.
not something super small, not something that big,
Mm-hmm.
pretty functional, because I just want to get from point to A and B. Although on one occasion, when Ford actually owned Hertz, and I was working for Ford, the discount was outrageous, and so I got a convertible. It was so cheap. I had it a whole week. It was great, great.
That's
It was
great.
even red. It was even red.
Did you get stopped by a police car?
No, no, I kept it under the speed limit. Kept it under the speed limit.
So, how early in advance did you make the decision to go and actually check different providers, vehicles? How early do you usually make the decision?
It would typically be aligned with the other travel plans. Like if I made a bought a plane ticket, I
Mm-hmm.
would get the car, I would rent the car or schedule the reservation right then
Mm-hmm.
so I didn't forget and end up with no car.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes that can happen. You
Mm-hmm.
travel, oh, we'll just rent a car. I'm sorry, we have no cars. Ah, and then where are you? Because that can
Yeah.
happen.
Yes. Yes. I agree totally. And so, with the last time you rented a car, the most recent time you rented a car, doesn't matter business or vacation, how was your experience? How would you rate your experience with the rental car company? Was there something that you would do differently next time?
Hmm. I think my experience overall was positive. There's always, when it comes to rental car companies, there's always all these extra taxes and fees that they
Mm-hmm.
never tell you in the price. And so the out of pocket, it can be 10 or 50% more than what you expect. Oh, we'll rent you this car for $39.99 a day. And then you find out like city tax, airport tax, other taxes.
Yeah.
You're like, are these real taxes? I think you're just adding money. That's always the biggest surprise, all the add-on costs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I'm assuming everybody's paying that, not just me. But in terms of the cleanliness of the car, delivery,
Mm-hmm.
things of that nature, it's all gone fairly smoothly. Although many times you select a particular car, and it's very rarely that car that you walk out with the car that, that you specifically asked for. But, that matters less to me since it's more about just transportation.
Okay. Thank you very much. And now we're going to proceed to the second part of usability testing, and we are going to test the car rental mobile app. So, Dave, here's the scenario. You live in California and you come to Michigan to visit some friends, and you're going to pick up your vehicle at Detroit Metro Airport and leave the vehicle at the same location. Your pickup date is September 12th, time 10 in the morning. Drop off date is going to be September 18th, 11 o'clock in the morning. Then you have to sort and filter price low to high and rent a SUV. When you get to this page with the sort where the vehicles are sorted, you have to check the details of Nissan Rogue and then select that vehicle. After that, you have to check what damage waiver is and add it as an extra and proceed to check out and make a reservation. Is it
Okay.
okay? Let's begin.
All right. Start your reservation, enter pickup location, uh, Detroit Metro Airport. Pickup date is September 12th. So I go down here. Okay, I clicked on 12. It says 1 here. Let me try that again. Okay. Pickup time is 10 a.m. Drop off date is September 18th.
Mm-hmm.
Drop off time is 11 a.m. Okay, nothing with discount codes. Continue. I'm going to review this as I
Mm-hmm.
always do.
Mm-hmm.
Looks good. Driver age. I didn't see that before.
Yes, because it's more expensive if you're younger.
Uh-huh.
The,
Okay.
the insurance is more expensive.
So I'm going to continue. Yeah, I'm just going to continue. Choose your vehicle. 10 results. I would probably just scroll through
Mm-hmm.
here. I'm going to see how I can. Let's see. I want an SUV. Price low to high because I'm cheap. And hang on, nice scenario. I'm going to apply that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'm going to look through here. Nissan Rogue for 91. Whew. Equinox for 153. Range Rover 160. Okay, all out of my league. Let's go back to this one. I'm going to select this. Okay. See what my options are. Person protection. I just want the damage waiver.
Mhm. Do you want to check the details?
I do want to look at the details. Scratches, dents, chipped windshield, curve. Okay, I'm gonna close that. That remove makes me think it's added, so I'm gonna continue. Go down to the bottom here.
Mhm. On this particular screen, if you were to book that vehicle in the summary, do you see everything you expect to see?
Summary, vehicle. No, I don't. I
Okay.
would like to see my dates of use.
Mhm. Okay. You don't see the dates of use right now.
I do see it here.
Mm-hmm.
I do see it. Oh, okay. I'm a little confused here. Okay, I see dates of use, total price 1,000. Oh, okay. I see. This is the total price,
Mm-hmm.
and this is the price with the waiver, and then this is the total.
Mm-hmm. Customer.
I guess I would like to see these numbers next to each other with a line, so I can see that that's what that add up to.
Okay.
I do see estimated total here and here.
Mm-hmm.
This kind of escaped me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big font kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I know, we're working in a phone form factor,
Yeah.
and I do more computing on the computer, so maybe that's not a reasonable request. All right. I might be tempted to look under essential information.
Okay.
Maybe that's not active. All right. Name on my card. Does that mean my credit card?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you think it's a good idea to specify credit
Yes,
card?
it should. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. That's a great suggestion.
Yeah. My name's Alexander Matthews. Is that automatic or?
Yes, it is auto-populated.
Okay.
You can type.
Okay. Verify email address. Okay. All right. My credit card number, expiration date, security code. Some places I've seen it in parentheses on back. I know that's maybe that's overkill. Maybe you don't have space for that. Billing address. Is that fill inable? Oh, I've got to put in the security code first.
You have to.
Okay. Foothill Ranch. Where have I heard that name before? California.
I wonder. Yeah.
Country, US. Phone number. Okay. Okay, just a minor thing. If you can conjoin these two phrases like phone number and in parentheses, we might need to contact you.
Okay.
They are a little disconnected.
Okay.
I might not look over there.
Okay, that's a good suggestion. Thank you.
Okay. And click reserve. Booking confirmed. I like that. Date. Estimated total. One thing, I know this is just an example. These are not going to add up to this number for whatever reason.
Okay.
7 and 4 is going to give me 11.
Okay. I'll check the numbers later.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And looks like I've got a car reserved. Great.
Yeah. So I want to ask you a few questions.
Sure.
How was your overall experience going through the app?
I think it was very good. Not too much clutter. The critical information was presented to me in a way I could grasp. And there weren't any places where I could get confused or out of sync. So I like that.
Okay. Was there anything that you were expecting but you didn't see?
In car rental, and this is a small thing, I don't know, like I didn't look at the terms and conditions explicitly,
Mm-hmm.
and probably it's more legalese
Mm-hmm.
than I want to be bothered with. But sometimes they put a splash screen that maybe the lawyers make them do it.
Mm-hmm.
You're agreeing to rent to this for this period of time, just kind of an extra thing
Yeah.
to make, yeah. So I've seen that, and
Yeah.
maybe it's typically an annoyance to most people.
Yeah. That's why I didn't have it this way.
People. Yeah, I understand.
That's why I had terms and conditions, cancellation information, all the documents you have to bring in separate tabs. So
Mm-hmm.
if you want to learn more, you can click and read everything. And when you reserve the vehicle, you actually agree to those terms and conditions. So,
Uh-huh.
but you don't want to go through all those screens and screens of annoying pop-up windows.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I just wanted to make it smoother, easier.
Yeah.
Well, Dave, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate your feedback and have a great evening.
Thank you. I enjoyed it. It was a very interesting experiment. I'm glad I could participate.